Well, just to review quickly, last week I thought we, really worked hard fundamentally, and the players responded in a positive way. And this time of the season, if the season matters to you, now's sort of the time to show the incentive you have to get excited about the opportunities that you've created for yourself. And great competitors care about how they perform, and they know they have to work hard to be consistent in what they do, as well as be enthusiastic in their work, so that the positive energy affects other people in a positive way. There's a lot of parity in college football. The teams that most of you in this room, make head and shoulders above other teams. Um, Obviously showed you this last weekend how badly you can be mistaken. I know I can be mistaken and get criticized, but you are badly mistaken when you make teams that are like so much better than everybody else. And then this weekend kind of proved that your predictability is not very good. But I think what it proved is the only thing predictable about college football is it's unpredictable. So, the consistency and the key to the whole thing is consistency and performance. Having a group of players that are going to be committed to doing the things that they need to do to play the game at a high standard, at a high level all the time, regardless of the circumstance or situation. This is an important game to us. It's a SEC game. We're playing in a place where nobody in our team meeting today has ever been before, including me. So, we're playing a new opponent that, in my mind, is a very challenging opponent for a lot of reasons. They're a very good defensive team. They're ranked nationally in most categories, defensively. They're physical, they're tough, they're very aggressive, create a lot of negative plays for the offense. And offensively, this is probably one of the most challenging offenses philosophically, in terms of being no huddle, lots of different formations, lots of motions, lots of adjustments for the defense to make. And they're very well coached. They've had some problems and issues this year with some very good players being injured. But regardless of those circumstances and situations, I think that they have some very good players who are filling in and very capable. And our team needs to be ready to play their best against what I would say is a very, very good football team. So really big challenge for us this week. Gary Pinkel, guy that I played with in college, very good friend, longtime friend, has done a fantastic job at Missouri. His record there over the 12 years that he's been there speaks for itself. And he's a great coach and done a really, really good job.
Coach, with Justin out earlier and now with D out, could you talk about how that changes the running back position for y'all? Obviously, some guys move up, and does anybody move over? Does anybody's role change?
Well, we have two guys that, I think we have to get ready to some degree to be able to give us some depth at running back. I think Brent Callaway is a guy who played running back here for a long time, who we tried to make an H-back, who we're going to get some repetition to at that position. And Blake Sims has been a running back in the past, and even though he's sort of a backup quarterback, right now, I still think that his skill set would allow him very easily, with his understanding of the offense and previous experience, to, go back and be able to play that position to some degree for us.
I'm just wondering if you had an update on Deion Ballou, and then if he's not able to go, what have you seen out of John Fulton and Geno Smith, those couple guys?
Well, Deion Ballou, everybody's practicing today. So, Deion Ballou can practice. We're going to limit his contact for a few more days, but he can practice today. Kevin Norwood can practice today. Callaway can practice today. Everybody that didn't practice last week can practice today. John Fulton has done a nice job when he's been called on to go in and play for us, which has been one game for D. Milner and quite a bit of the game versus Ole Miss in the last game for Dion. So it's good to have a guy that has the experience that John has, and you know, he's done a really nice job for us. Gino is a young guy that continues to develop at a lot of different positions, and you know, with those guys, you know, you just kind of try to keep working to help them make strides every practice, every day, every play, so that they can improve a little bit more consistency and confidence in what they're doing.
Coach, kind of a two-pronged question related to Gary Pinkel. I just wonder, A, about the influence of Don James on you, and I know he helped influence you into coaching, and just when Gary's convinced that your words meant a lot when he got the job at Toledo, I just wonder what you might have said to endorse him and why you knew to endorse him at that point.
Well, you know, Gary was actually 1 year behind me in school, so I was a senior when he was a junior, but I just always had a tremendous amount of respect for the kind of person that, you know, Gary was. He was a hard worker, very smart football-wise, and we spent, I think, 1 year kind of as GAs, part-time coaches, whatever you want. We were not assistants. So I did have an opportunity to work with him, and I do think that Don James had a tremendous impact, I can't speak for Gary, but on me in terms of, you know, my whole philosophy of coaching, dealing with players, personal development programs, academic support program. I'm talking about things relative to football as well as program-oriented things, how to recruit, how to evaluate players. Learned a lot. In fact, when I first started coaching, Don James was so well organized that I just assumed that any place that you went, that's how everybody did things. And when I left Kent and went to other places, I was a little like, wow, you know, Coach James was way ahead of all this. So, and I know Gary was exposed to the same thing, and actually with Coach James for a lot longer. And you know, I felt bad about leaving Toledo after 1 year, and I knew the best person out there for that program would be Gary. And I was just happy that he got the job, and he did a fabulous job there for a long time, and he's done a great job at Missouri.
You've already kind of addressed what happened over the weekend. Did you watch those games? And if you did, what impressed you?
I didn't really watch the games, and I was watching Missouri actually. So, you know, the games were on, but I didn't really watch them, you know, that closely. So, I watched a little bit of the Florida LSU game, and I thought those two teams really competed hard in the game, played hard, very tough physical game. And, you know, turnovers on both sides had a tremendous impact on the outcome of the game.
And, subject change here, but the SEC has the top 3 pass defenses nationally, and it seems like that's been maybe a really important and maybe overlooked element of the last 6 years. What separates the pass defenses in the SEC to you, in your mind?
Well, I think it probably starts with the guys up front. You know, I think, you know, there's, and you know, I've always said that I thought the thing that was different about this league was the pass rushers and the cover guys. You know, the combination of those two things were a little better than other places. Everybody's got good receivers, everybody's got good runners, lots of good quarterbacks, but I thought that those two things were something that were a little better in this league, and I think that probably indicates that. But if you look at most of the teams that have good pass defense, A, they're able to affect the quarterback because of pass rush. There's 3 things you have to do to be a successful passing team. You got to protect the quarterback, so the line's got to block. The receiver's got to be able to get open, and when you throw them the ball, they got to catch it. And number 3, the quarterback's got to be able to execute, you know, make good decisions, process information quickly, get the ball to the right guy at the right time, all that kind of stuff. Well, you know, when you have good pass rush people, you affect several of those things. And if you can cover a little bit, you can disrupt the timing at least, and all those things to me impact your ability to have passing efficiency, you know, on offense. So I would say that that's probably the biggest thing, and most of the people that are in that category have some ability to rush and affect the quarterback.
Coach, this question's a little bit broad, but how would you assess your team's play overall on the line of scrimmage so far this year?
Some good, some bad. You know, we've played the run fairly well on defense at times, and you know, a couple times we've given up some runs that, whether it's misalignment or misexecution, see a lot of stuff though, and in a couple cases we didn't adjust properly, but didn't adjust properly to things that we hadn't seen, you know, much before. Offensively, I think that inconsistency has been probably the biggest thing on the line of scrimmage in terms of not getting a hat on the hat, letting people give us bad plays at times, and not maybe executing in pass protection, or the quarterback getting the ball out of his hand quickly enough, or so we've been a little inconsistent. I think both things are areas that we can continue to improve on.